Andrew Dawson, who used the name Andicapped on TikTok, was like any other person on the app. His videos showed the life of a regular 34-year-old man living in British Columbia. He had a good job, great friends, and a strong bond with his girlfriend and her kids. That's why he didn't expect the surprising adventure he was about to have. On April 9th, 2022, Andrew was driving with a friend when he spotted something on the ridge of Whistler's Peak in Alberta, Canada.
What is it?
It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
No.
There's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Dude, if you've seen what I've seen right now.
Although his friend wasn't convinced, Andrew said it was a person, but at that distance, it was way too big to be a person. Certainly too big to be a normal-sized person. Andrew's video got millions of views, but he couldn't have been prepared for the events that followed. Thousands of people in Andrew's comments wanted him to get closer to the mountain and try to find out exactly what the object was.
We are on our way. We're gonna go find somewhere closer, and I'm gonna set my camera on something so you guys aren't complaining how shaky it is in the truck. Because, yeah, internet has no chill. But that's the mountain we're going to. But we're just gonna try to get closer.
Andrew's friend didn't think it was a giant. He just thought it was a tower or some large structure on the ridge. But it couldn't have been a tower, because when Andrew went back to look for it, it was gone.
Okay, I'm gonna use this as a tripod to try to keep it steady for you guys. And it's not even there anymore, too. That's where it was yesterday. I spoke to some locals and it comes and goes apparently, I don't know.
Andrew spoke to a few locals about what he thought was a giant. Residents told him that something lives in the mountains, but it's not always visible. In this part of Canada, more than 200 people have claimed to see a Bigfoot or Sasquatch since the 1800s. The local native tribes have a story about Sasquatch that has been told for a very long time, like 1,000 years. Actually, the word Sasquatch comes from the Salish word, where it means something like a wild or hairy man. The most recent time someone said they saw a Sasquatch was in 2014, when the news said a creature that looked like Bigfoot was walking through the snow near Whistler. This is Jasper National Park, the same area locals gave Andrew directions to the location where he saw whatever it was that he saw. But even though he was driving on a public road in a national park, he was stopped by some type of government agent.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent. He told me to turn around and said I'm trespassing. I said it's a public area, like a public park or whatever. Some local told me to take this path. I didn't get it on camera, but I'm gonna go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck was blocking it. Said some like environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing. I don't get it. It was awkward, but I'm going back again tomorrow to see if he's not there. But if he is there, I will keep a camera. I will film, because the only angle I could get that I found today is the one I just posted earlier, and there wasn't even anything there. But I don't understand why the road's blocked off. I don't know.
Andrew left the house early to head back to the mountain to try to find the creature.
Alright, I woke up actually early today. We're actually gonna go on an adventure. It's currently 5:30 in the morning. I'm gonna see if he's there early in the morning and see if I can get up a little bit. Look at all these mountains I got. They are everywhere around here too. That's the one. Alright, let's go.
On Andrew's trip back to the mountain, he recorded a couple more strange events. That looks like many other UFO sightings in the area, but things get even stranger. Andrew then spotted this over the mountain.
So they're extracting something out of here. There's 2 helicopters. What the
It's happening on Andrew's drive to the mountain within the same hour or two. Now he looked all over, but he couldn't find the giant in the mountains. But later that evening, he does find the road where he was stopped previously, and just like he said, there is an agent there in an unmarked car.
The guy's here again. Yeah, this is him. What's going on?
Road's closed. Turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just turn around, please.
Okay. Have a good night, man.
Andrew refrains from engaging in an argument. Instead, he reverses his car and proceeds toward his residence. But whoever that agent was, it wouldn't be the last time we see him. Andrew went silent on video uploads for a brief period, but it wouldn't be long before we discovered the reason. On April 16th, he shared a video titled, "Being Stalked."
I think that's the same vehicle from... Hey!
That looks like the same unmarked Dodge Charger from the last video. The mountain is pretty far from Andrew's house, so whoever stopped him on the dark road somehow found out where he lived and was watching him from the street. Concern grew when Andrew failed to follow up, as he had been regularly uploading videos up until that point. All of this unfolded within the span of a single week. Then, suddenly, there was silence. It wasn't until 3 weeks later that Andrew re-emerged with a new video, one that stood in stark contrast to his previous content. This video was titled, "Official Update."
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys, so now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
Andrew is leaning up against the plain wall with his hands in his pockets. He never posts like this. In every other video he's posted, he records himself. But in this video, the phone or camera is on a tripod. Also, this video has a slightly different aspect ratio than his other videos, which means a different phone. Oh, and look at his eyes. Doesn't it seem like he's looking at someone else in the room? Many people pointed out that it looked like Andrew was forced into making this video. People continued to speculate about whether or not Andrew was coerced. But 10 days later, we would learn the truth from Andrew himself.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
For the caption of that video, Andrew wrote, "Too much has happened, and I can't be forced to be silent." Andrew was finally ready to tell the world what happened to him. The following day, he would upload another video.
What is that? That was not there yesterday.
In only a month, Andrew went from a happy, fun, regular guy to anxious and paranoid. On May 13th, Tony Merkel, host of the Confessionals podcast, reached out to Andrew on Instagram about a possible interview. Tony didn't hear back, but a little over a month later, on June 23rd, Andrew responded. Tony asked Andrew if the videos were real or a prank. Andrew said, "All fake. Everything's fake." Andrew asked why. "What did you see?" Tony posted a link to Andrew's confession. Andrew wrote back that he can't say anything about it, and that it didn't happen. Andrew then tells Tony he shouldn't be talking to him, and to be safe. The video of the structure on the mountain was Andrew's last TikTok video, but he kept posting on Facebook. Andrew's Facebook posts were mostly pictures of family and friends, jokes, and random positive thoughts. He was excited about a trip to Mexico that he just booked. It seemed like Andrew Dawson was ready to put the entire mountain mystery behind him and get on with his life. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be possible. Even though Andrew said he wouldn't remain silent, that's exactly what he did. He didn't post any more videos, he declined interview requests, he didn't say another word about this, but he did show up in the local newspaper about a week later. On July 1st, about 6 weeks after Andrew's final TikTok video, his obituary appeared in the Campbell River Mirror. Speculation online went wild. Was his death a coincidence? And what was it that Andrew saw on the mountain? If anyone was looking for closure on these mysteries, they weren't going to get it. Andrew Dawson passed away on July 1st, 2022. He was only 34 years old. Andrew Dawson's story was one of the biggest internet mysteries of the year, but is it true? Well, let's take it step by step. The video that started all this was The Giant on the Ridge. Now, I've seen this mountain reported as Whistler Peak, but it's not. That ridge is actually Canoe Mountain. Andrew took this video while driving south on BC5 or Yellowhead Highway. We know this because at the very beginning of his video, we see the sign for Cedarside Regional Park. Now, if we follow Andrew's route and grab images that aren't overcast, you can see that this is the right mountain. And if we zoom in on that peak, we can see the object. What Andrew thought looked like a giant was just the top of a cell phone tower. But the reason the tower disappeared in a later video is because he was recording a little further down the highway where the road veers to the west, putting the tower out of view. The UFO video was taken over a different mountain. Now, while this could be a UFO, it's probably just contrails. The reason it looks bright orange is that the video was taken while the sun was coming up. Now, the helicopter video is fun. What Andrew saw is called helilogging. This is when helicopters are brought in to remove trees from inaccessible areas. And that building that Andrew saw was actually the Jasper Skytram. It was built in 1964. So, was Andrew hoaxing? Or did he really not know about the Skytram? He's from the area, so it's safe to say that he knew about it. So far, Andrew's story isn't panning out, but things do get a little more complicated when it comes to the CIA agent, or whoever that was, but the agent doesn't sound like law enforcement. Kind of casual. Ever been pulled over, and initially the officer is standoffish and kind of robotic? That's not them being a jerk. Police are trained to establish authority at the beginning of an encounter. This guy doesn't sound like a cop to me, and definitely not like a Fed. Now, the so-called agent was driving a 2015 Dodge Charger. But if it's a government vehicle, why does it have an aftermarket exhaust system? And that was not professional surveillance. You don't park right in front of the target's house with the motor running and the lights on. As far as tradecraft goes, that's a huge fail and highly suspicious. Now, Andrew's forced confession was definitely odd, but it doesn't feel right to me. When Andrew looks off camera, it looks forced, like he's overacting. Andrew was an aspiring musician and was excited about all the views he was getting on TikTok. We know he liked performing for the camera. We could be watching a performance here, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's being sincere. But if he really was forced into making this video, I think it's strange that the image he used for the thumbnail was of him looking away, like he's calling attention to it. You'd think whoever forced him to make the video would have prevented him from using that frame and calling attention to it. But if a government would go to the trouble and take the risk of abducting a person and forcing them to post a TikTok video, that government could just as easily force him to remove all the videos about the mountain or force him to delete his account. Andrew's death is the strangest part of this whole story, and still, there are a few details that don't add up. But Andrew's death is not so easy to solve. There are aspects of it that feel like a hoax, but there are aspects that make me think he might actually be gone. Andrew's obituary did show up in the local paper on July 1st, but anyone can post on that newspaper's website without a death certificate. Looking at the source code of the page, we can see that his obituary was first published on July 1st at 7 a.m., but he died on July 1st. So did he pass away very early in the morning, and then someone submitted an obituary to the paper just a few hours later? That's odd to me. Andrew's girlfriend created a couple of videos after his passing that looked pretty sincere. Well, most of them do. Now, I don't love the idea of posting TikToks about your partner's death. That seems weird to me. Why put something so painful and personal online? To me, it feels a little unseemly. But everyone processes grief in their own way. Now, if he really is gone, his family has my condolences. But if he's alive, then he has my congratulations. If this is a hoax, it's a good one. If it's not a hoax, it's really, really sad.